Good morning students and welcome back to the lesson for today. And today we are going to be discussing some facts about subtraction, and also we will be learning subtraction with regrouping. Okay, so the first fact that I will be sharing with you today is on subtracting 0 from a number, the answer is the number itself. Now what does this statement mean? Okay, for example, I give you a number which is 23, okay, and I say subtract 0 from this. So what will happen if I take away nothing from a number? The answer is always going to be the number itself. Okay, this is a very simple fact to remember. Whenever anyone asks you if 0 is being subtracted from a number, what is the answer? You say the number itself. Okay, the second fact that we will be learning is when we subtract 1 from a number. Now when we are subtracting 1 from a number, I want you to remember that it is always a predecessor. We've already learned predecessor means to deduct 1 from a number. So in this case also, we are going to just deduct 1. Okay, let us look at an example. Here I've taken 444 as my number and I'm deducting 1 from it. As you can see here, if I take away 1 from 4, I get a 3. Now the number that I get here is 443. That means 443 is nothing but just a number which comes before 444. So 443 is my predecessor. Okay, let us look at the third fact. So the third fact says when we subtract a number from itself, the answer is 0. Obviously, if you have 5 toffees with you and I take away 5, what will you be left with? No toffees, right? Similarly, here when you look at this question, I have 444 and I'm taking away 444 from it. That means I'm left with nothing. Okay, so my answer is nothing but a 0. Okay, and the last fact that we will be looking at for today is when we subtract a 10 or a 100 or a 1000 from the respective place value. Okay, this one is there's a small catch. Here, remember, wherever the 1 is, only that place value changes. We will look at this in the example. Now you can see I've used 2 examples in this question. One is 88,888 minus 10. Okay, and the other example is 88,888 minus 1000. Now in this case, if I look at my first example where I subtract 10, my 1 comes in the tens place. And I'm deducting 1 from the 8 in the tens place. That gives me a 7. So that only changes in the tens place. So that becomes 88,878, right? Similarly, if I look at the next question, when I'm deducting 1000, only the number in the thousands place is changing. Like you can see here, only this changes. Okay, so wherever the 1 is, irrespective of how many zeros are behind, we are only going to change the number in that place value. Okay, and this is how we deal with subtractions when it comes to deducting a 0, deducting the number itself, or deducting 10, 100 or 1000. Okay, now today mainly we will be focusing on subtraction with regrouping. Now we've already learned additions, okay, and you've already learned how to carry over. Now when I look at subtraction, I need you to remember that we need to borrow sometimes to be able to subtract a few numbers. So for today, we will be looking at this example. Now there's a question that is put up on the screen which you can read. The length of Bhadra Dam is 1708 meters and the length of Murumsilli Dam is 2591 meters. Can you tell me by how many meters Murumsilli Dam is longer than Bhadra Dam? Okay, now this question, I want you to take time, think about it and analyze the question and think what I should do about this question and how I should solve this question. Once you're done, I will want you to unpause this video and continue following the video. Now, if we move forward into this video, we come back to a main question which was this. Now let me just bring up 2 dams for you. Okay, these are the 2 dams that I have with me. Now I can see that I have two numbers, that is 2591 and 1708. So the first thing I need to do is to decide which is bigger. Okay, so before we solve this question, let us look at a small hint. In order to get my answer, what I need to do is deduct the smaller number from the bigger number. In this case, I know that 2 in the thousands place and 1 in the thousands place, 2 becomes larger. So 2591 is the bigger number, so it comes forward here, and 1708 goes at the bottom. This gives me my answer. Okay, so now we will be solving this step by step. So let us move on and look at the steps. So the first step is where I arrange the numbers into vertical columns. All of you know this, we've learned in additions as well. So I'm going to write the larger number at the top and the smaller number at the bottom, which will look like this. We will see the next step, and I can see that I need to deduct 8 from 1. Now 8 is a bigger number, so it is not possible. So I'm going to borrow from the 9, and the 1 will turn into a 11. So the 9 turns into a 8 in the tens place, and this becomes a 11. Now I can easily deduct 8 from 11, which gives me the result 3, and 8 minus 0 gives me 8. So we've done the first two steps. Now let us look at the third step. Again, here I can see that I have a 5 and a 7. Okay, but I cannot deduct 7 from 5. So naturally I need to make the 5 as a bigger number. What shall I do? I should borrow from 2. Now if 2 gives away, it becomes 1, and the 5 becomes a 15. Okay, something like this. And if this becomes a 15, I can easily subtract 7 from 15, which is going to give me a 8. Now the last bit which remains is very easy, okay, which is 0. So I'm left with 883. So now to complete the answer, I write, therefore Murumsili Dam is 883 meters longer than Bhadra Dam. So this is how we need to do subtraction by regrouping. Okay, so whenever we are using this method, I want you to focus on borrowing. When you borrow, always remember to strike out the number and write how much it becomes. Okay, let us look at the work for today, and we will be solving again a similar question as yesterday. For the first question, you will be subtracting 12,130 from 45,890. Okay, and then you will verify your answer. And the next question which you will be solving is finding the difference, which has two parts to it. I hope all of you are staying home and staying safe. Keep yourself away from playing outside. Have a good day, all of you. Enjoy yourselves.